What's up, everyone? Dav here from My Automation Tips. Today, looking at an amortization calculator built in Monday.com. All right, let's dig into it. I built this out for a client recently, and I thought it ended up being a pretty cool project. It works really smoothly. This is more of an advanced video, so I'm not going to break it down into every little bit for this video, but if you do want to see some of these breakdowns, drop me a comment in the comment section and I'll build these out separately. So what we have here is your project breakdown, which is the high level numbers on your project, where you'll enter in data like your interest, your down payment, and how many years, and then it's going to automatically generate the calculations for you. Below that, we have our interest schedule with up to 30 years, which breaks it down there. And then below that, we have our principal schedule. So you can see that over the time period as well. And then this is kind of built for like larger projects. What we have here is our trades and our trades cost, and they're usually pretty constant. If let's say you're building a multi-part or multi-building project, you're going to probably have the same cost for like your concrete, your building costs, your electrical costs, and so forth. So by having this separate, it allows you to tie multiple buildings to that one trades item without having to re-enter in that data every time. That's what we have, this trades board here. And then finally we have our units. And so this was built for storage units, but you could also have it for like buildings. And it breaks it down by unit size and then builds all the calculations based off of that. So let me give you a quick demo. So we're gonna go into our projects breakdown, and we're gonna create a new project. I'm gonna do everything in caps lock so we know where we're looking at and making sure we're staying consistent. So we go project 2. Okay, and we're gonna pretend here that our project 2 has 4 buildings. And we're gonna have to create a few items from here. So we're gonna take our building 1 here, and we're gonna click on that. And we only want one trades item, and we're actually not gonna link it here, but we can create it from here. So we're gonna go project 2. And this is gonna track our, like, again, our concrete costs, building cost, electrical costs for our project 2 for all the buildings. So we're just gonna create that, but we're not gonna link it. We are, however, gonna go into this drop down here, go into our units, and we're gonna add our project 2, building 1, and we are going to link it to that. Yep, so we're gonna put a checkbox there. Then we go on to our next one. And now the last thing we want to make sure that it is linked. It should have done it automatically, but we're just going to double check is that our interest schedule and our amortization schedule are linked to the main item as well, which we're good. Cool. Now you can see everything is at 0 here. We're going to add how many acres of land we are looking at. Just put that here. Okay. And we can bring this back down. So now we're going to look at our cost for our trades. And here we want to make sure we are linked to all the buildings. So in the storage units, we can select all our 4 buildings. So then they're all linked. And you can see there's no square footage at the moment. That's okay. And then this is just a one-time cost for that building that are added here. But once we've done that, we're good. We can actually just close this up. And now we would look at our individual buildings. So this is where you can kind of break it down per unit and what you're thinking for your project. If let's say each unit is going to be 800 square feet in our first building, we're going to have 50 units of that. And then our land cost, I should put it as a one-time cost over here for one of the buildings. But if you had that broken down, you can have that here as well. So in this case, we're going to put $200,000 for the land. And then miscellaneous items, we're going to add 30,000 for all of those. And that's it from that standpoint. We have all the data put in. If you go back to your trays, now you'll see that your square footage is there because you've done all the calculations. You can close all that up. And now if we go back into our projects over here, you can see we have our construction costs, the units for each building, and then the one-time land cost. That then breaks it down into your land price based on the amount of acres and your square footage. And eventually it adds all of that up together to give you a loan of how much you'd be asking for. Once we're here, we actually get into the calculation part of it. If you had a down payment, you'd put it in here, say $500,000. We'll put a 1.8% interest rate. We'll do it over 30 years. And instantly it calculates everything for you. So you have your total interest that you'll have paid on that loan over the period of time for your amortization. You'll have your monthly payment that is principal and interest together. And then you have your total per square foot. And then obviously if you change some of these criteria, let's say you want to do it over 20 years, you'll notice that your total interest will have gone down. However, your monthly payment will have gone up. And this will have been adjusted accordingly. If I change this, so if I go, let's say 2.5 on this one as well, you can see that it's changed. Obviously your interest has changed and so forth. So then if we go to our interest schedule and we look at our project 2 over here, you will see the whole breakdown based on the amount of years that you've added. So we're still at 20 years. So after 20 years, obviously there's no more payments to be made. And then likewise for the principal schedule, it breaks how much principal you have left to pay by the end of that year. And then that should take you down to 0 by the time you're at year 20. If I was to go back to my breakdown and I change the amount of years to, let's say 30, you can see everything changes for the calculators, and I will break it down right up until the 30-year mark. So that's the amortization calculator. It does take a fair amount of knowledge of automations and connect board columns. There's also lots of tricks with hiding columns and so forth. And then I have everything coming into a dashboard where I use a couple widgets and you're showing tables, and you can see that this is how it displays by the end of it. So you can kind of keep it nice and clean and do all your calculations that you need for your project. So that's it from me for today. Hope you enjoyed that video. Again, if you're curious about how some of these things are built, drop me a comment in the comment section below. I'd love to know what piques your interest, and then I'll build some video based off that. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.